Hi everyone, welcome to How Do You Meditate, formerly called The Pollen Show. I am your host, Tyler Gravely, meditation teacher and wellness consultant. I am so grateful that you are here. This podcast is all about making meditation easy for ordinary people like you and me. I believe that when we are seeking meditation, we are seeking a lifestyle change that builds our strength mentally and physically, helps us find acceptance, instills personal growth, and unlocks the possibilities waiting for us. You can expect to hear stories on how other ordinary people find wellness in meditation and incorporate it into their everyday life. You will hear something in each episode that helps spark the light in you to shift and take control of your own mind, laugh, cry, and transform the space within so that you can answer the question when asked, how do you meditate? Let's dive in. This episode is sponsored by Arbonne 30 Days to Healthy Living. The 30 Days to Healthy Living is a program that offers you an approachable plan to get you on track with good habits that can support long-term wellness. It's a holistic approach focusing on a routine of whole foods coupled with vegan protein shakes and select nutritional supplements. It's taken me years to find something without the chemicals in it that actually works. You can find more on my website at tylergravely.com. Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of How Do You Meditate? It's such an honor to be here with you, and I know that you could be doing anything else and that you're here and you're listening. That means the world to me. So I wanted to let you know I so appreciate it. We're going to get into it today. I'm so excited. I just finished a weekend with a leadership course and I'm fired up. And I'm ready to sit here with you, and we're going to chat about something, and then I'm going to offer you up a meditation to go along with this. I wouldn't call it a Dharma talk, but that's what's going to happen today. And so it's going to be a little bit different than most episodes. So you're going to have something to think upon, something I invite you to consider, and then a meditation to let it sink in. So I can't wait. Let's get into it. Something that's been coming up lately is you asked for this and I'm going to deliver. And a lot of people are saying, as an entrepreneur, how do I manage time for self-care? How do I manage time for self-care? I think that comes up for a lot of people, right? And this show is all about how do you meditate? How do you take the time? How do you make the time? How do you create the time? And as an entrepreneur and as somebody who is listening to this show, I tend to attract really busy, really hard-driven, really exciting people who want to be busy, and they are busy. And meditation is completely opposite from being busy, right? When you meditate, you are still, you are observing, you're in a place of non-doing, which also means you're in a place of non-judgment. You're sitting there, you're thinking, and of course you're judging, but you're doing something completely opposite than you do. So it's completely normal to feel like, I don't ever do this, and this doesn't feel good. This is weird. I don't like it. And at first, it might feel that way. There is a really great quote. It says, mindfulness is to develop a capacity to shift from the small self, the body of fear, to the deeper self and the deeper letting go of what it means to finding peace. So within each and every single one of us, there's this small self, which they call in therapy the little s. And I'm no therapist by any means. I want to preface with that. I've just heard this and it has been taught to me and I'm just sharing it. So there's a small s and there's a big S. And the small self is the one that lives in fear and anxiety and depression and whatnot. You name it. It's the one that's meant to keep us alive. And then there's the bigger S, which is the one that wants us to be conscious of what we are doing, who we're doing it with, what we're doing it for, and what our why is in our life. It's the one that takes care of us and speaks to God and the universe and whatnot. So I can totally understand when I say that, if you're like, what is she talking about? I get it. When it was first said to me, I'm like, okay, I got it. I think I got it. I think I understand. And as somebody who's very busy and always go, I can understand the opposites, right? Opposites of one without the other. And if you're always on the go, you're going to get burnout. So you have to understand that your why, perhaps underneath all of this, is like, I don't want to be burnout, so I'm going to make the time right now and I'm going to get ahead of it. So I also want to think, if you think about it this way too, and you want to like, I love all the examples. Have you ever been to like a really strong workout or a cycling class and you're running and you're like, and you get back and you're just like, holy crap, that killed me. Like, I'm so exhausted. And then you're like, it's impossible. That would be impossible for you to go from a hard workout to, all right, time to sit at my desk and time to move, like time to email, time to do. We're not robots. We are human beings. So there's this thing in between that. What is that called? That's transition time. It's a time to reflect, a time to adjust the body, the mind, the spirit, the focus, so that you can focus on what it is you need to focus on. The same goes for when you go on a trip and you don't just come home from your trip and you're like, okay, time to work, time to sit down. No, you got to unpack. You're reflecting on the trip. You're settling back into your body. You've been in the air. You're very airy. So it's like, how do I reground into this moment, into this present moment? So it works more naturally if you give yourself that transition time, right? So when you're thinking about making that time and managing your time and how do you do so, think about all the times in the day that there's transition times. So the transition time works in the morning, right? When the sun is coming up, for the earth. I'm thinking of transition times for the earth. What is natural? So you have the morning time, you have the middle of the day, and then you have the evening, and then you have the night, and then you have deep night, right? If you've ever gone to a bar, you know that there's a difference after like 11 p.m. to like 3 a.m. That's like deep night, okay? So that is when you have the opportunity to really go and move with the earth and not move against it. So for most people, it's easier to meditate first thing in the morning, or it's easier to meditate right before bed. You pick. That's just an offer of where you could take this. Now, there's a book, if you don't already own it, as an entrepreneur, you need to get it. And it's called Zen Entrepreneurship by Rizwan Virk. It's so cool. It actually sort of mixes, I love calling it like the woo-woo with the real life business. And it's really cool. It talks all about meditation and mindfulness and how it really, your inner work plays such a huge role in what is produced in an outward form. And in the book, there's a thing that he states, thought forms are things and you will need to become aware of them. Your habitual thought forms will determine the direction of your life. Did you get that? Your habitual thought forms will determine the direction of your life. I love this part for you to hear because it speaks to taking action and what actions and what habits will you take on to move the direction of your life that you want it to move in. There's one thing in this world to say and have positive thinking, like, if I had this, I would be so free. If I had this, I would be unstoppable. If I had this, and then you say it, right? Like, so then of course there's the, I am unstoppable. I am I am free. I am amazing. Okay. You can say all of those things. And then some of you come up against something and it's like, ugh. But if you can really look at it from the perspective of the shift in habitual thought forms, habitual patterns, okay, so it's one thing to say you're unstoppable, but then the next action you took was like you got zoned out on Instagram. Well, that doesn't make you unstoppable. Or you let the emotions run from, perhaps you ran into an old friend that you had, some issues with, or an ex-lover who texted you, whatever. And then you're totally stoppable. If you let it make you stoppable, if that makes any sense. So that is your habitual thought forms will determine the direction of your life. What do you find valuable? If there's got to be a reason you're seeking this quiet time. Of course, we're here to talk about that and making that a part of our life. And you're choosing it for a reason. Most people say they want inner peace. Most people say they need clarity. Most people say they need direction. Most people say, like, I just need to stop thinking for 5 seconds. Like, I'm just so tired of thinking. And when you think about that, you're tired of controlling. You're tired of being that way. In that essence, like, there's a possibility to live a different way, but you don't exactly know how to get there. And in order to get there, you're thinking, well, maybe some quiet time and some reflection time would actually provide me with a sense of ease. And that's what happens. A consistent pattern of an habitual thinking of, I'm going to let that go. I'm going to breathe into that. I understand it. I'm having humility with it totally can get you there. So finding those right techniques and those right patterns and the right meditation and the right mindfulness tricks will totally help you acknowledge. They will help you acknowledge the thought patterns and the routines that you actually already have occurring within you. And those habitual thought patterns, getting it into a place where, wow, I don't want to think like that anymore. I have an opportunity and a breakthrough to think completely something new and something different. So you got to think about it in another way too. Here's another analogy. So this is funny. All right. As humans, have you ever been like really excited to meet with the CEO of another place? Or you're like, oh my God, I got a meeting with the guy from the coffee shop. I mean, like totally da 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 da. Or you get excited, you get that energy, you get that feeling like, I can't believe I landed this meeting. All right. What if you thought that way about yourself? You're the head guy, you're the CEO, you get to meet with that guy, that gal, that guy, that gal in the morning. That's you. What? I get to meet with myself? Like, yes, you do. And a lot of times we don't think that way because we think there's something wrong with us. And that's just you butting up against shame, embarrassment, not thinking you're good enough, yada, yada, you name it. And combating that and getting through that and going, no, I'm amazing. I get to meet with myself and I get to get some clarity. I get to get into my own body. This is amazing. So I'm going to give you 3 little things here. 3 little pointers, and then we're going to meditate. So managing this time and making this time for yourself. 1, move with the earth, not against it. So make that time to look inside for common transition times for you, whatever that is. How can you fit it into your life? Just like brushing your teeth, just like bathing, just like going for a run. When you make that time, like some people have it in them, like, I'm going to effing work out. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm definitely getting a workout in. Okay. You can do this. That's an opportunity for creation. You can make the time to sit. And yes, it might be uncomfortable in the beginning, but it will get easier. I promise you that. Number 2, understand that this is all part of it. The part of it that tells you, I don't have the time. The part of you that tells you, no, I can't stop thinking. All the reasons. This is so part of everything. Your higher self wants you to meet up with it, but your little self is the one that's like, nope. And it's completely normal for that little self to win over and over and over and over and over again. It sucks. I get it. And what are you going? It's like the story about the 2 wolves. Which wolf are you feeding? I don't know if you've ever heard that story. But it's what are you feeding? The little S or the big S? And who's going to win today? And who is going to, every time that big S wins, you make a step in the right direction. You make a move in your business. It's crazy. And number 3, be intentful about your time and energy. Don't give your energy to anyone and anything that isn't serving you. What worked for someone else may not work for you. 20, 30, and 45, an hour meditation time might work for someone else, but 2 minutes may be the longest time in the world for you. And that's okay. It doesn't make you better or worse than them. So that is, we've got to understand that being intentful about our time and energy is so incredibly important. Like if you say, I am a meditator, and then you don't meditate, it hurts your self-esteem. It hurts this whole self. You feel out of integrity with everything that's going on. When you become a meditator to restore that balance and you want to restore who you are with yourself, you just get back in that game and you just keep meditating. Say, I didn't make it today. You know, the little S win. That's fine. Tomorrow the big S is going to win. So I'll leave you with this. If you were to talk to anybody out there who is successful in their own business, ask them what their habits are. Ask them what they admire, who they admire. And they'll tell you their habits. You just listen in. They're going to say, oh, I get up in the morning and I have this whole routine. And then I go to work. And then this is what I eat. And this is how I go to bed. And then I drink, on occasion. They're not out with their friends. If they're writing, they're like, I get up in the morning and I write. Really listen. Because you'll start to see, oh, I want to be like that. I want to do that. That's what I want to get accomplished. And that's when you start creating the right thought patterns, the right habits. And the way you do that is by starting an awareness practice so that you notice what you're doing. Because we don't know what we're doing. Nobody else knows what we're doing. I mean, that's most of the time people hire coaches and counselors and therapists and whatnot to discover what they're doing. What am I doing wrong and how did my life get here? How do I make it different? How do I make it better? I think that's the most important thing, is to be able to rely on other people and to bring up what it is in the dark and in the shadow and into the conversation. I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that that's the biggest freaking win of meditation. And that's why I have a community on Facebook that you can absolutely join, because you got to start talking about these things. You've got to start talking about it. It's the only way to get it out into the world and into the conversation. Okay, so, and I've said this before, awareness doesn't happen in an instant. You're going to get a hunch. You're going to get a clue. You're going to know that you need to move forward with meditation. And then you're going to rearrange your life based on the opportunities that arise because of the clarity that you receive in meditation. So we're going to take a moment right now to meditate. And it's going to look like embodying the opportunity of an awareness practitioner and an awareness of who you are and what you're up to. So when you start to meditate, you can find a comfortable seat. Obviously, if you're driving, this is the point where you come back. And you want to sit up nice and tall because that helps you really let your body know, your temple know that you have arrived, that you are here and you're honoring it. And you can cross your legs or you can have both feet on the floor, whatever you need to do that feels comfortable. And you're just going to place your hands in your lap and start to notice your breath. Take a moment to check in with your jaw and just let your jaw relax, your shoulders relax. Let's take a couple of breaths together. So we're going to inhale for 7, hold for 2, and exhale for 7. So take a nice, just normal breath in and a breath out. And inhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Keep inhaling. 1. Hold at the top. And a nice long exhale out for 7, 6. Keep exhaling. 4. Push out. 2, 1. Inhale for 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Last time. Inhale for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. Exhale, 7. Everything out. 5. Push it out. 3, 2, 1. Come back into your normal breathing. Notice the energy in your feet, the air around you. Perhaps soften your knees. Soften your hips. Soften the belly. Start to honor where you are. Noticing any discomfort. Acknowledging it, seeing it. Noticing any pleasure. Acknowledging it, seeing it. And then just imagine a ball of white light above your head. Baseball, basketball, bigger, beach ball. And start to bring this white light just down over your head, through your shoulders. Through your heart, belly, hips, legs, knees, feet. Just totally encapsulating your body in it. If your mind wanders off, just bring it back into the breath. Go ahead and take both hands to your heart. Exhaling compassion for yourself and someone else. Again, inhaling something you're grateful for. And exhaling something that you're giving compassion to yourself and someone else. You can slowly start to open your eyes, taking it nice and easy, stretching up. And noticing perhaps if there's a shift in your energy from the time that you began this and the time now. And know that you created that. And that is all on you. Thank you so much for letting me be your guide today, for hearing me speak. It's such an honor and such a pleasure to be with you. And I hope that you have an awesome week and continue to keep practicing. All right. We will be back next week. Talk to you soon. Take care.